Mark, do you want to give me the nod when you...
Yeah, was it just 1 second?
Yeah. You want to retain it? Lee's here as assistant head coach, and they've both signed contracts through until the 30th of June 2018. I'd like to put on record my thanks to Mark Burton, Paul Eckenbottom and Mark Crosley for doing a fantastic job in caretaker charge. And equally I'd like to thank Oldham for the way in which they allowed us permission to speak to Lee, and they've conducted themselves throughout the discussions. So really, without further ado, because with the greatest respect to myself, you're not here to see me, you're here to probably put questions to our brand new head coach.
Hey, welcome to Oakwell.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, fantastic.
So, what's your ambition name for the club, and where do you think you can take it?
Well, I want to take it as high as we can possibly go. It's a step for me that's a fantastic size from where I've been at Oldham, as far as bigger crowds, bigger playing budget, if you like, history that's been there consistently in the Championship for a long time, and that's really minimum where we should be. So of course we're going to push for that as quickly and as firmly as possible, but within the sort of methodology and philosophy that that's here, part of me coming in.
And in terms of you coming in, process wise, how difficult or easy was it to get here?
I have to be honest, it's never easy. Work, or the effort basically that it took to take that club and progress it like we did. Of course, I mean, you have emotions on that. However, the lure was too big, and I'm excited because of the owners' passion and the owners' ideals for the club, and I bought into that. And the process, of course, takes time, and you talk to first, and then inevitably you have a decision.
Quite a young squad, isn't it? So
yeah, well, I mean, play is going to be so important, and I want the fans to see that their personality has been put over by the players onto the pitch, in the identity and the style.
And did you like what you got to see last night when you watched them against Scunthorpe?
I thought it was a good game. Yeah, I thought it was played with a lot of heart. There was some good passing. Maybe get a few more numbers in the box every now and again, but it was important, dramatic effect on the league.
And what message would you send to the Barnsley fans today as you come into the job?
Well, I would send, first of all, thank you, because I've had a lot of nice messages and bits and bobs on Twitter, and people have welcomed me, and not only the fans but the staff that I bumped into already. And of course, it's you move into something new. It's like your first day at school. You're nervous, you're excited, and I'm just here to give of my best for the club, for the fans, and for the board, and hopefully that'll be good enough. I'm sure it will, because I'm confident in my abilities, I'm confident in the plan, and if we can make sure that they go in cohesion, then we'll be flying, and we'll make sure we kick on.
Lee, as you said, it's a very congested division. You're now only 4 points, I think, off the top 6. Is a push for the playoffs a realistic possibility for the rest of the season?
Well, I don't think it's unrealistic, for sure. I mean, I think the problem you'll have any team is that there's a lot of teams above them, but someone will go on a run, and why not it be us? I think it's important that the players know that there is still a chance. Every year in every division, someone comes out the pack and has a fantastic run towards the end of the season and puts himself in that last spot in the playoffs. And I see no reason why it can't be us, and we'll go into every game trying to win every game for sure, and with a bit of luck that you'll need, because you'll probably need 9 or 10 wins out of the remaining games. Why not? Of course, there's a bigger picture, and that bigger picture is to make sure we progress every year, improve the quality of the squad in our recruitment, improve the quality of our coaching, our individual players, through extra work, and then that in turn will lead to better performances and of course progression up the division, hopefully out of the division.
And what was it in particular that persuaded you to swap one league, one club for another?
I think it was a number of things, if I'm honest. Certainly when an owner of a football club goes to such lengths to want you, it gives you a good feeling, and you really feel wanted, and you really feel like your philosophies and your methodology and your ideals for the club match. I think that's very important, because to pay obviously a fee for me when there's a lot of good managers out of work, and it, for me, that was the big thing, and to sit there and see the passion of the owner and see where he wants to take the club, and speaking to the board of directors and everybody involved, and I want to be a part of it, and I want to make sure that I'm the one that delivers that.
Lee, how do you see the next few weeks shaping up? There's a lot of sort of Saturday, Tuesdays coming up for Barnsley. Obviously, you get to know a new squad of players. How do you envision the next couple of weeks or weeks?
Well, I think it's a getting to know you period. Hopefully getting to know you while winning. And of course, the players will know a fair bit about me, I'm sure. And I certainly know a lot about the players' individual strengths and weaknesses. Of course, you've got the academy system, the younger crop, that are really important to make assessments on and judgment, because that will affect your recruitment, whether it be now or in the summer. And we've got to get to that stage, basically with the detail that I'm talking about, exactly knowing the ins and outs of each player. And it's not just their qualities and attributes on the pitch, it's their personalities, what makes them tick, how can you motivate them that little bit more, what do they need, what help do they need, what extra sessions may they need, how are you going to motivate them, is it a little text, is it speaking to their agent, is it phoning their mum up, all that you're dealing with 40 or 50 players' lives, if you like, and in any group of people, of course, there's stuff that goes on, and what we've got to make sure is that the players continue to try and be the best they can be every day, and that's a big part of my ethos, if you like, is to make sure that everybody comes in and tries to improve every day.
You mentioned it meant a lot to you that the owner sort of believed in your philosophy. Can you just go into a bit more detail of what that is, your philosophy as a manager?
Well, I think it should create an identity for the club, for sure, to make sure that we play attractive attacking football, organised and disciplined. We want to make sure that we recruit in a certain way. We talk with the academy staff, we have to be very close with that and make sure that when I talk about methodology, I'm talking about the fact that there's certain systems that run all the way through the club. And part of the recruitment process has to be assessing the young players and making sure that you're not standing in the way of certain players by signing a journeyman, if you like, that's just going to be a short-term fix. So we are looking long-term for this. I think you see the length of the contract that I've signed. It's not about quick fix, although of course we're chasing to get promoted and as quickly as we can get out of the division. But it's so important that we do it in the right way, because that will stand the club in good stead for a longer term, and if we do, and when we do, hopefully get into the championship, then that will be a lot more sustainable, considering we've got such a good production line coming behind us.
They've been, as you mentioned,
since the interest was there, of course you keep a close eye on what's going on, as well as concentrating on your club, as I did at Oldham. And I haven't met Mark personally yet, as of since I've been appointed head coach, but I'm looking forward to it. I saw how passionate he was about the club, and I saw that he was excited about the win yesterday, and that's what you want. You want people at the club that are pushing to do everything they can to make the club better. And I'm thoroughly looking forward to working with him and picking his brains on every aspect of the place.
So it's a huge decision for you, Lee. Was the fact that you think you can get to where you want to be quicker with Barnsley than Oldham, was that probably the decision?
Well, I don't want to listen. I certainly don't want to be disrespectful to Oldham, because what we achieved at Oldham was fantastic. But there's certain facts that the two clubs differ.
Yeah.
A big part of the thought process is the new rules that are coming out, emergency loans, the financial fair play that you have to obviously comply with, and everything going forward for a League One club, or hopefully a League One club that's going to push to get into the Championship, revolves around making sure you give yourself that best opportunity. And I felt the timing was not great. Of course, but in football you have to make decisions, and one of the things that somebody said to me, a famous manager once, was, well, you have to treat it like you're going to be there forever, but no, you could be gone tomorrow. I think I could look myself in the mirror and say that I gave everything to Oldham, and in my new challenge now, we'll give everything to Barnsley.
Lee, the 15th manager in 17 years here, does that kind of managerial turnover present a little bit of a concern for you?
Yes, naturally, of course it does. As any individual would do their due diligence, if you like, on everybody, and like I said, the detail that I go into involves everybody, because I have to, because it's a massive decision for me, and weighing up everything, I was still very, very keen. I think when you get that buzz that you want to go and achieve something, you feel you've got the opportunity to, you believe you're going to be the one that's going to break the mould and go and achieve something fantastic, and that's of course the aim, and I'll die trying.
Have the board really set you any targets, the Barnsley board, for promotion?
No, they've been very good actually. Well, of course, we all want promotion, do you know what I mean? But it's got to be done in the right way. The thought process is if we can get our house in order and get everything working in a smooth forward motion, then that will come. Whether it be this year, next year, the year after, of course we don't know. There's a lot of big teams in the division as well. But if we can get it right with what we've got, the resources and the fan base, we've got a chance, haven't we? And if we can all pull in the right direction, which I'm sure I'll be the head of, if you like, trying to drag everybody with us, then we've got a great chance. And I know that it's such a spirited club, and that's what attracted me to it as well.
It's already been said that you and your assistant are coming across. Will there be any other coaching staff coming with you from Oldham, or is it too early to tell, or will you work with who's already here?
Well, no, of course, I'm looking forward to working with the guys that are here. I've brought in Tommy Johnston, that's also known as Tommy Wright, as the assistant coming over from Oldham, and he's very good. He's very good for me. I've really enjoyed working with him. He's got extensive knowledge of players throughout the divisions, done a lot of scouting. Of course, he had a very good career as well. He's a technically good coach. He's got that change of tempo in his voice, training sessions, and he can demand that sort of Scottish aggression, if you like, that's on the verge of being over the top, but it demands that players raise the tempo. I feel I've got that as well, and hopefully that will stand us in good stead for the players to enjoy themselves in the training, but also work hard and create that intensity in that environment that's conducive to improvement.
Sounds like you did a lot of homework before you went to Oldham, Lee. You've presumably done the same before coming to Barnsley. I know you're in a job, but you've obviously researched it thoroughly.
I did feel, given the fact that the due diligence I've done on the club and the people and the fans and everything that goes with it, I feel that I'm the perfect fit for this club if we can get it going. And all I want to do really is get on the grass, do you know what I mean, implement my style, and hopefully that'll transfer onto the pitch and people will come and enjoy entertaining football, played at a tempo, and go home on a Saturday night enjoying their takeaway happy.
Did you ever work with your old man? Did he vouch for that?
Yeah, well, he's trying to become my assistant.
Not yet.
Yeah, listen, my dad's, do you know what I mean, of course, he's been a manager for 20 odd years and had a fantastic career. I think he's up to nearly 1,000 games, so he's always there to lean on. Hasn't had a great year this year, but there's been a lot of interest in him, certainly as a manager, with the sort of job that's been available. So he's certainly a good tool for me, because he's been there, done it, and seen it all before. So someone to lean on if need be.
You've got to go back to Oldham in a week or two, haven't you? Quick
I know, and it will be tough, but it will be nice, hopefully.
Yeah.
I know that there'll be mixed emotions, of course, with the Oldham fans, but I think that sort of shows fondness, if you like. And if I could go around everybody's house and explain individually what my thought process was, I'm sure they'd understand. And I will, of course, try and get a message out to the Oldham fans, but obviously today's about about Barnsley and making sure that everybody's happy with the appointment and making sure that I'm motivated and strong in the fact that how we're going to move forward.
Ben, why head coach and not manager?
I think just at this juncture we want to make it nice and clear that Lee's responsible for all football matters. We've said in our statement that really we were looking for a young, hungry, fresh, dynamic individual, not tainted with any perception of a sacking or repeated sackings. Lee's his career has shown that he's willing to get on the grass, improve players, hopefully in particular midfield players, because it's an area we have invested in. That was where he played. But we wanted someone who had strong coaching credentials, keen to get on the grass. I think Lee's attention to detail, I've just witnessed that, hence we're an hour and a half later than we should have been over his contract. But in all seriousness, we just felt that was the right title for now. Lee will have responsibility for all things football, and we want him to set that, work incredibly closely with the academy. Because I do believe, last night we saw Mason Holgate come on and do well again, albeit probably his not preferred position. George Smith contribute. We've had 7 academy graduates make their debuts this year. So we just felt that was the right title for now.
Lee's got a record, Ben, of sort of getting players who on the discard or anything like that, but sort of been, not had a great time and sort of regenerated the career, if you like. That's something that must appeal to you.
I think recruitment's been much talked about since I came here. I sort of tried to hammer that home to the board and to the owner that it's really important, and we felt, and I think the renewed enthusiasm from the town and from the local businesses was that we would now build on sound foundations. We'd continue to invest in the academy, and we'd recruit players that Lee articulated earlier about creating value year on year and making sure that if we get up, it's sustainable. And we've recruited players that have got more to come, that have got more development. And you look, and when we've spent 2 extensive meetings with Lee, you look at some of the players he's brought in, improved, both that were already at Oldham and that were from outside, and then have already moved on during his time there. So I think that's important. So no, for us, it's a really important appointment and one we feel we've got right.
I feel like you've captured him before maybe a club in the Championship might have.
That's definitely what Lee and his representatives said to us, but no, we firmly believe that too. Lee's someone that, as I say, I'd come across towards the end of my time as an agent, and he impressed me with his diligence on recruitment, on the way he felt he wanted to get in front of players and he could convince them that he could make them better. And I think those type of standout qualities are important. I think as we've set down now as a board, we wanted those credentials. We've said that in the statement, and no, we feel we've got someone that is going to go on to good and better things, and we hope, and our belief is he'll take Barnsley with him.
Yeah. What's the main thing that you think you've learned in management in your sort of 2 years?
I don't think we ever stop learning management. I mean, it's been so diverse, the scenarios we've had and continue to have, I'm sure. And like I say, you're dealing with so many emotions week in, week out. And of course, different media elements, and we had the Ched Evans stuff, we had the match fixing, and no coaching badge can teach you really how to deal with that. So I think it's just being true to yourself, true to your values, and try and go about your business in a way that's like professional and humble, really. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned, to make sure that you're a good person, because there's many ups and downs in a season, in a couple of weeks sometimes. And if you stick true to your values and your sort of work ethic, then you'll come out on top. Well, if you don't, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, look, I've done everything I can to be the best. Of course, the club are keen to progress, and if there's an opportunity over the next couple of weeks to bring somebody in that we feel will benefit us and the squad, then of course we will. We're in the market, and we'll be looking.
You mentioned that you knew Louis Tanga. Which other ones do you know? Were you at Oldham with John Eves?
Yeah, I had John Eves and Voto. He was the last. I came in with 10 games to go, and John done fantastic. I get on very well with John. He's a good guy, good man. And I know Leroy Lita, for example, has obviously got big Bristol City connections. I know Ben Pearson a little bit because he was from Oldham. And at one point we was interested in taking him at Oldham. And I know a fair bit about most of the individuals' personalities and certainly their technical qualities, because it's my job to know that, because I've been a League One manager now for 2 years.
The club's obviously brought through a lot of academy players, as Ben said, into the first team. Was that something that intrigued you as well?
I think it's massive. What I touched on earlier about the loan rules that are changing, to go into a club with a really good academy and a good reputation and some good young players that have already made their debuts. It's very important because as it changes and the loan window becomes that you can't take emergency loans, you can only deal window to window. It's going to be so important that you rely on quality youngsters, not only for your team but for your bench, and they've got impact. And if you're going to have a serious push for promotion, you're going to need that. And the clubs, probably with the smaller budgets, I believe it will probably end up turning into sort of a feeder club type situation, because it will have to, because it's the only way they'll be able to get by. They'll have to take 4 or 5 loans of clubs from a higher division, and then you run the risk of maybe not getting the quality loans that are going to make it into the Premier League. You run the risk of getting the loans that become just adding value to the higher ranked teams.
Okay, so we'll go to some one-on-one.
Yep, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, very good.